So tell me, for people who are just starting out, so people who maybe have some kind of skill, have some kind of creator profile, but are maybe struggling with the business element. So how do they create a business around a passion or a skill set? Do you have any tips for people who are just getting started in this space?
Yes, I do. In fact, over COVID, I ran a mentoring program to help artists to build an online business for themselves using their innate gifts and talents. And yeah, it's been so beautiful to see those flourish, and, creators making money from, whether it's subscription businesses online or whether they're selling something in a different way. So what I recommend is that you really get clear on the impact that you already make in the world. Like, and you might need to ask people, what impact do I make in the world? How do you see that? And then you can package that up. There is a way, and oh my God, that cup.
I know. Oh my
surreptitiously bring that into the chat.
all my pretty cups are dirty. Oh, this is obviously the man cup in the house.
Who are you going to call? I would say, get clear on. So actually, I would even come back before that. Like, what I do with all of the artists that I mentor and the songwriters that I mentor, the very first thing we do is we get really clear on what your values are and what you believe your purpose is in the world. That's for no one else to decide but you. And there are definitely some beautiful exercises you can do around getting clear on those values and what your purpose is in the world. Because if you can make choices based on, does this align with my values? Am I getting to fulfill my purpose by doing this, or is this helping to fulfill my purpose? Amazing. You're just going to be constantly aligned and magnetized to those things because you've got clarity. And then the second part of that is to understand what impact you're already making through the work you're doing. Are you helping people to be inspired? Are you helping them to connect with their emotions and their feelings? Do you help people to deal with grief? Do you help people to with parents with their children in some way? I met some songwriters who write children's songs, and that helps the parents. So it's sorts of ways to get clear on what the impact you make can be by asking others around you. And I would do that as personally as possible, so you can get as much data as possible on that. Opinions really, but you can still use it as data. And then you can put together a business. If that's what we're talking about here, is taking your creativity to a business level, is like, what sort of service could I offer as a result? And how could I package that up in a way that allows me to thrive as a business, and when you start out, I suppose you don't want to have too many options for what people can buy. Like when I started out doing business coaching, I already had a club for $55 that people could buy. And it's such a low value offering that it was like, actually my coach was like, you've got all of this low hanging fruit, is what she called it. People emailing me all the time, asking questions, to get them all together on a Zoom call and start mentoring them. And I was like, oh, that's brilliant.
Can I do that? Yeah, that's so
brilliant.
Cool.
And within 6 weeks, I'd made more money than I'd made in the club.
Oh my God, that's incredible.
Yeah. And I started paying myself a wage.
Yep.
Because so instead of, a $55 for 10-week program, now I can charge, hundreds of dollars a month, each month, or to be able to personally service people in a different way.
Yeah.
Group service,
Yeah.
And then, I have 5 spots for one-on-ones. That's it. Like I can't service more than that, but I can service this amount of this amount of this, and this amount of this,
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And then every time I had a conversation with somebody, if I felt that there was a really good offer, and whether it's like, actually, this is the best place for you, or actually, this is the best place for you. No, this is the best place for you. And if I couldn't, then I would say, I can't help you right now, but maybe I would go to this person or do this thing. But that way, every time I had a conversation, I could offer them, some sort of entry to one of the 3 programs I had, which I've got a lot more now, and I basically can help any songwriter at any level.
But that's over time, like as
that's
you said,
over time, 8 years.
You've been there for 8 years. Yeah, exactly.
So when you start out, I would probably just have one thing that would allow you, if you could sell 10 of them or 12 of them, or maybe even, under 30, which is quite doable, that you can pay yourself.
Yeah.
And that's really important, because then you're going to feel the value of, is it you feel the value? No, you would feel the.
Well, I love to feel that what being able to make money through a product actually feels like, because that, I find that really interesting. Like I remember the first time somebody paid for something that I just had an idea, and it was like, a decade ago now, but I still remember that first sale, and they paid me like $99 for something that now we'd charge $5,000 for. But I was like, you want to get that first person and prove to yourself that you'll do it. But when that happens, like, I think your mind kind of opens up and like, oh, okay, it's now possible. How do we grow this?
Yep. Absolutely. And there are some really simple, and you would no doubt teach this or espouse this to your mentees, ways to ensure that you meet your minimum numbers every month.
Yep.
So that your business continues to tick over. And I've definitely fallen into I'm not doing that stuff. Oh, that's why my business is not growing. And you've got to be really honest with yourself, and so now I just make 20 minutes every Monday and I do that work.
Yep.
Because if I do that work, my business grows.
Yes. And I love that you just said, maybe there's things we don't really want to do. But if we schedule them in, get them done, they're done.
Yeah.
I do that like with just business reporting. It's so important to look at, okay, what is the health of everything? What are all my numbers? What's working? What's not working? But it's kind of an annoying admin job. So I have it in my calendar, and that's a meeting that I have with myself. I sit down, I do it all, and I'm always surprised. Oh, cool. Okay. I kind of thought things were not as great as that, but you always, I think, downplay things in your head, but then you sit down, do the work, and like, oh, cool, things are good. This is working really well. I'm going to do more of that. But sometimes scheduling time to do those things and having that commitment to yourself is really important.